Hello everybody, my name is Jimmy from Old Shipping Lines and welcome back again to a new book review. Today we are gonna review one of my most favorite books, and that is called The Atlantic Liners of the Cunard Line from 1848 to the present day. Now, we all know that there are many Cunard Line books out there because, of course, Cunard is a famous shipping line. Now, also with the cruise ships of the Cunard, and of course, we all know the Queen Mary too. And of course, there are gonna be lots of books of it. But this one, The Atlantic Liners of the Cunard Line, this book is the one you want. It has so much information. It is written by Neil McCart. I hope if he hears this, thank you for making this amazing book. And like I said, this is the book you want to have. Now, this is a pretty big book. So I'm thinking that it will again be a little series because there are just so many chapters to go through. It has 223 pages, and like it said, it goes through all the Cunard liners that Cunard had till the Queen Elizabeth II, and that is where it stops, because after that then you had the cruise ships and the Queen Mary. So like I said, for the fourth time now, this is the book you want to have. It's a must read. You must have this in your collection, at least in my opinion. So yeah, let's begin. Now, if we move on to chapter number 1, that's called A History of the Cunard Line. And this talks a little bit about how Cunard Line was founded and the ships you had in that time. So the ships were, of course, mainly then in that time wooden, and they were trying to experiment with steam and funnels. And then we go to chapter 2, and that's then called The Umbria and Etruria from 1848. And these two ships are some of the first ships of the Cunard Line, and you can see in the pictures that I'm about to show you that of course they have two funnels, but they still have the masts. So sometimes the sails would then be to the masts for extra speed, because these ships were single screw, both of them. And what you read in the chapter of these two magnificent liners is their life, their launch, the building, and so forth. And that's in all these chapters of this book. So you get the names of the ships, in what time they came from, their building, their history, and their life, and then at the end also their end. And at the back of every chapter you have a little box that I called it, and that is technical data. And there you have then the gross tonnage, the net tonnage, the length overall, the breadth, and then what screws they had and how quickly they would be going. Now, the Umbria and Etruria, they would go 19 knots. So that's quite the speed. So that is what you get in chapter 1 and chapter 2. And now, my friends, we move on to chapter number 3. These are the ships, the RMS Pannia and the Lucania of 1893. These are some well-known ships that we know, especially the Pannia. And with the previous chapter, this is actually exactly the same. Also, what I like about shipbuilding, and you can clearly see in this book, is that every chapter you read, the masts go away slightly more, and you see even more steam. So, but that's normal, I guess, with shipbuilding and those kind of things. But back to the Pannia and Lucania. Like I said earlier, you have again their story, their launch, their career, and some amazing pictures of both the ships. And this chapter is quite long because there's quite a story about them. He also have some amazing pictures of the HMS Pannia when she was in wartime. And again, then you have the box of technical data on the back. And that these two ships, they had twin screws and they could go 23 knots. So you can clearly see, maybe I'm wrong, I'm not an expert, but I always learned that Cunard focused on speed. Again, I'm not an expert, so I could be wrong. But you can clearly see it with how early times they were, that these ships could already go 23 knots. So that is what you get from chapter 3. And now, my friends, we move on to chapter number 4, the Invernia and the Saxonia of 1900. We cut away a funnel, and these were funneled liners. Maybe the pre-versions of the Carpathia. Now, for the 4th time, again, like I say, this talks about their building, their launch, all those kinds of stuff. And you also have some amazing pictures of her interiors, showcasing maybe the beginning of the luxury of passenger accommodation. Also for the 5th time, I'm not an expert, so. But this chapter, it has in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of itself. So that's again quite a few pages. I like these vessels if I look at them. I like my personal opinions, or my personal opinion is that I always like ships with 1 funnel instead of 4 or 5, but that's my opinion. So like again, we have also again a box, and that these ships had also twin screws, and they would go 16 knots. So they were actually slower than the Campania and the Lucania. Even though they both have they had twin screws, but that again can be explained because they had 1 funnel, of course. So that is what you get in chapter number 4. And now we move on to chapter number 5. That's called the ships Pannia and the Slavonia of 1903. Now, personally, I don't know a lot about the ships, but that's the amazing thing of this book. You get to learn about them. They were quite large vessels. Also, again, 1 funnel, and if I can see right, Slavonia had 2 masts, and the Pannia 4. If I can see clear in the picture. Not much information about these 2 vessels. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 pages of their own. So not much information about them. But the box again says that they were also twin screwed ships, and they had a speed of 12.5 knots, and the Slavonia had 13 knots. So there was with speed a kind of difference between them. Maybe with the Pannia they knew that she was going too slow. Who knows? We can only theorize. But that is what you get in chapter number 5. Some amazing pictures of both vessels again. So yeah. And that is the end of part 1 of this book review. I didn't want this video to be too long and then again to be too boring, because this book again has quite some chapters. So it's gonna again be a series like the Unseen series, a copy actually, a series again. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly loved making it, because like I already said, I am extremely hyped about this book, and also because when I was younger and when I was getting into more ocean liners, and when I saw this book, I ordered it straight away and I read it like in 5 days. That's how addicted I was to this book. So like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a must read. This must be in your collection, because if it's not, then what are you doing? No, I'm just joking. But guys, I quickly also want to thank all the new subscribers who have subscribed. That really means a lot to me. But if you have friends who like ships or ocean liners, please show them my channel. We are so close to the 200 subs. I can already taste it. So close that we are. But leave your thoughts in this video. Of course, I'm gonna leave a link to a website where you can buy this book for yourself, which I again highly recommend. With that out of the way, guys, have a good night today wherever you are, and we will see each other on the next video. Bye bye.